Welcome to the CSTV.com Bowl Preview. We're talking about the Cotton Bowl. Missouri taking on Arkansas. My name is Greg Amsinger, joined by Trev Alberts and Brian Jones. Missouri comes in. What do they have to play for? They didn't get a BCS game because they lost in the Conference Championship game. They have every right to be upset about that. So now they don't even get in the BCS. Kansas takes their spot, despite the fact they beat Kansas. Now they take on Arkansas, a team with a lot of momentum, because they beat number one LSU the last time they played in a game, but now they don't have their head coach, Houston Nutt. Will that play into this game whatsoever?
Well, it may be a factor in the ball game. Have they named an interim coach right now? I'm not sure who that person is, but this should be a high-scoring football game. You got a defense in Missouri that was just hammered by that Oklahoma rushing attack. Chris Brown and Alan Patrick, they just gutted that defense, and you're going to now go up against Darren McFadden and Felix Jones, Peyton Hillis. I think McFadden should have a huge day. And then on the flip side, that passing offense for Missouri, they should be able to have their way with that Arkansas defensive backfield. So I look for a high-scoring football game.
Last hurrah for Darren McFadden.
Well, yeah, and I think the intriguing storylines, you touched on them, I think they are an important factor in the game. I think if you look at these bowl games, historically, the team that has went into the bowl game either in momentum or the team that's lost a lot really impacts the outcome of the game. Does Missouri want to be there? I mean, they wanted to be in the national championship game, at least in a BCS game. Now they find themselves playing against exactly the team that they don't want to play if they're not mentally ready to play. Now, I'll say this, and I'm certainly not making any accusations or anything like this, but Darren McFadden, something to consider. If he goes pro, okay, the season's over. What will you get from Darren McFadden in this game? I think it's a legitimate question to ask because you often see it, guys not wanting to get injured in that last game if they're going to go out to the NFL draft. That's an important aspect.
I can't say I blame him.
And again, I'm not trying to make any judgment or conclusions about that. I'm just simply saying you don't know what you're going to get from Darren McFadden in this game. That's
I disagree with you wholeheartedly there. This young man, if this is his last game, if he's already made his mind up that he is going to go pro, fine. But I think he's still going to go out there in his last ball game in a Razorbacks uniform and give it his all.
Well, I agree. I hope that's the case, too. I'm not saying he won't do that. I'm just saying those are some of the things you have to think about. It's that Missouri defense, and how is Arkansas's defense going to be able to defend Chase Daniel?
They can't put any pressure on him.
Oklahoma has the blueprint.
So who do we like in the game?
I like Arkansas. Assuming Darren McFadden comes ready to play, I think the fact that they're on a bit of a roll, even though they lost their coach, and the fact that Missouri certainly is not in the game they'd hope to be in.
What about you? Who do you like?
Who do you like?
Missouri.
Oh, come on, pick one.
I'm taking Missouri.
Pick one.
You're so liberal.
Don't let that influence you. Who are you taking? Pick one.
I don't know. I think I'm taking Missouri.
Oh, thank you. Finally. We were waiting with bated breath for BJ and Trev. I'm Greg.
It's a tough one. It's going to go back and forth.
We'll see you later on CSTV.com.